PlayStation 5 event officially announced, Xbox Series X architecture, and your daily gaming news recap. All that and more coming right up. My parents wanted me to be a doctor. Welcome back to Sodi Pop on YouTube. Today is Monday, June 8th. I'm Matty, and this is Chatty with Matty, your source for daily gaming news recap. I have my drink. Let's chat. Alright, to start with big news, PlayStation 5 has finally rescheduled their June 4th event for, yes, that will be June 11th. It's a Thursday this week. Obviously, we'll be expecting it to be amazing as always. And I got to look up a little bit about this event. So number one, it's official on the PlayStation blog, and I will say this. Sid Schumann says it's also best if you can watch while wearing headphones. If you can, there's some cool audio work in the show, and it might be harder to appreciate if it's pumped through your phone or laptop speakers. Now, this led people to wild speculation, in particular on Reschedule, that, hey, we're going to be seeing the new 3D audio engine that PlayStation 5 will have called Tempest. If you remember, Tempest is both a hardware solution, so a chip on the board, and their special encoders that they have running from what was formerly PlayStation 3's actual chip, and then they've actually modified a graphics processing unit to mimic what PlayStation 3 had going on. With that said, I highly doubt it's going to fully be Tempest. It could be. It actually could. Like, that would be an amazing way to show it off. And they have been going. One guy says here, I knew they were doing something like this. Hope it's really good. Silent Hill theme and 3D audio hype. So it could be Tempest now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more. But we will certainly see this coming up on Thursday. I will certainly be doing a predictions thread a little bit before. What do you think is going to happen in that amazing, hopefully amazing presentation? All right, in other news, one of my favorite games ever to exist, Dragon's Dogma and Devil May Cry 5 designer are making a new game with SquareEnix. So this is from Push Square. Here's a juicy little story for you. SquareEnix is currently recruiting for an action game, and it's already got Ryota Suzuki on board. Suzuki previously worked at Capcom, where he was a designer for Devil May Cry 5 and the gameplay lead for Dragon's Dogma. If you haven't played Dragon's Dogma, that's possibly some of the best action adventure gameplay I've ever experienced, from the way the magic works, the way the arrows, the way the actual lighting lights up this scene around you. It is amazing. So check that out. So he's reportedly the battle director for this new SquareEnix project. Awesome to hear. We don't have much to go on when it comes to the game itself, although the wording of the publisher's recruitment page makes it seem as though the action RPG of some kind. There's some exciting potential here, but given the company is still gathering talent for this thing, it's safe to assume that we won't hear much about the project for a long while yet. Yeah, definitely safe to assume it. And again, it is SquareEnix, and there's Dragon Dogma Dark Arisen. So if you haven't played that game, you can usually find it on super cheap sale for the PS4, Xbox, PC. There's some amazing mods on the PC as well. So please check that bad boy out. In other news, a new Metal Slug game coming for console and mobile, planned for 2020. Metal Slug is a wonderful side-scroller 2D, has some amazing pixel art. I believe is on the Neo Geo and also Sega as well. So there's also some really good Metal Slug anniversary games on the PlayStation Vita, so check those out. All right, so let's read into this. The new Metal Slug game for console, first teased in April 2019, is an action shooter that is planned for release in 2020, SNK Corporation Executive Director Shiwan John announced. In addition to the console game, a 2D side-scrolling card-type Metal Slug game is also planned for 2020 release on iOS and Android. So very interesting. Those are all very good games. Pretty difficult too once you delve into them, has you jumping in and out of vehicles. Really fun games. Go ahead and check it out. Hopefully it is announced soon. All right, Gran Turismo, new trademark ahead of the PlayStation 5 event. I think it is pretty much a shoo-in at this point that Gran Turismo will make an appearance at the PlayStation 5 event, or at least be within the launch window of the PlayStation 5, considering how heavily hinted it's been so far. So this is just another piece of information. We had that leak from the actual console peripheral manufacturer, the people who make the steering wheels, and then we have an official trademark being registered ahead of the PS5 event. only stands to reason that we would see it coming up this Thursday. And we have Atlas official. So Atlas, again, Persona developer, Shin Megami Tensei developer, coming out saying we've got some exciting news to share with you on the PC gaming show this Saturday, June 13th. Again, Summer Games Fest is displaying this PC game show. It looks amazing. I wouldn't be surprised if Persona 5 makes it on Steam. That would be fantastic with nice crisp graphics. Persona 5 did super well on the PlayStation 4. And then, of course, we have Persona 5 Royal, which is part of Days of Play sale. So check that out. I believe it's like $45 for the Royal Edition. Possibly we could see that edition coming to the PC. And further news, if you're looking for sales, well, a game that has yet to be released, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, pre-orders on sale right here at Amazon. So go ahead and check out the PlayStation 4 version, Xbox One version for $10 off at $49.94. And then if you haven't yet, please like, follow, subscribe, comment down below. If you enjoy content like this, you liking it, commenting, all that stuff enables me to produce more content, gets this out to people who don't already know about it. And of course, share yourself. If you have Twitter or Instagram or what have you, go ahead and share it with the friends that you think might be interested. Really helps me out and lets me know that I'm doing something right. All right, on to some big news coming here. So UK could pass loot boxes as gambling to protect children. So there's been a lot of debate as to whether loot boxes are straight up gambling or not. Some games implement them pretty well. Some games implement them horribly and don't even display the chances. Now, reading more into this, their value to video game industry has been estimated at $23 billion a year and rising, thanks to revenues that keep rolling in even after initial purchase of the game. If ministers opt to reclassify loot boxes, the decision would have significant impact on game developers who could be forced to withdraw some titles or redesign them so they can be sold to people under 18. Certainly redesign would make a lot of sense. Reading further down, they are virtually speculative commodity that only help to normalize and encourage young people to take a chance, said Labour MP Carolyn Harris, who chairs cross-party group of MPs. And then further down, loot boxes are already deemed gambling products in countries including Belgium. So there is some precedence for them to be considered gambling. Certainly makes sense in a way to me. Now, the first thought I get is a lot of games use loot boxes to supplement their income from games. So would you be in favor, let me know, would you be in favor of getting rid of loot boxes, but possibly having more expensive games outright? Maybe they leave some features out that you have to pay more for. There's a lot of different things that this could affect. I've always been in favor of, I want the entirety of the game. Let me pay $10 on iOS or what have you. Let me pay the full amount for the game, and then through progression or whatever, unlock the game as you go on. I always love the Mario Kart style, unlocking carts, unlocking tracks, unlocking new Grand Prix. That's what I enjoy. I hate it when a microtransaction gets in the way. It just brings you out to a store, you have to buy something, jump back in. It's super weird. Some loot boxes work better than others. I mean, of course, if you've ever played Overwatch, that one has a pretty good amount of loot boxes that come consistently. I haven't played it recently, so it could have slowed down quite a bit. So let me know what you think about that loot box thing below. Is it gambling? It certainly has an element of chance. And is there a better way to implement it? Because some games do it horribly, some games do it very, very well. Ring Fit. So, I mean, this comes at no surprise. Woo, everyone's stuck at home. Ring Fit, once it's back in stock, just sells out again. So Ring Fit Adventure at number 2 following stock boost in UK chart. We're gonna jump into Ring Fit, but also we're gonna read, there's a lot more stuff going on here. So Nintendo's Ring Fit Adventure at number 2 fitness game received a big stock boost this week and was backed by a TV marketing campaign. As a result, sales surged by 1,160% week on week. So absolutely killing it. Further news, in between that, we see last week's number 1 Xenoblade Chronicles. That one actually drops all the way down to number 28 in 87% fall in sales. That's pretty darn amazing as far as the amount of sales that have been dropped, and that's pretty typical of maybe an RPG, but unfortunately that means it might not have legs. You also have Mario RPG coming up and 2 big games from Paper Mario coming up and 2 big games from PlayStation coming up. So that could be kind of it for Xenoblade Chronicles, but it did sell pretty well in its first week. The big new release of the week is Nintendo Switch game 51 Worldwide Games debuts at number 6 and was also backed by a TV advertising campaign. The casual nature of this title means that it's likely to be a long-term seller as opposed to the big opening week you would see from games aimed at hardcore audiences such as Xenoblade Chronicles. And then, of course, Sony Days of Play sale continues to sell titles such as The Last of Us Remastered at number 8 and Marvel's Spider-Man at number 10 saw another uptick of sales week over week at 30% each. So very, very cool. FIFA 20 remaining number 1. FIFA always does very, very well. So go ahead and check those games out. Really crazy to see the Ring Fit just killing it. And then I think some really interesting news is that Switch game 51 Worldwide Games. So a commenter on my previous video has said, hey, I should go ahead and check that out. Nintendo's killing it. If you don't remember, that was actually a big selling title on the 3DS, was these 51 world title games. I'd never heard about it before, but let's go ahead and check out the Metacritic. 83% on Metacritic. It's killing it. You can download a demo for this. I saw a Nintendo Switch demo on the eShop, so go ahead and check it out. I'm gonna go ahead and check it out myself. Super curious to play this. Also, I have my girlfriend who's not a hardcore gamer. She's super into Animal Crossing, so this might be the next game that we can get into as a couple. All right, moving on to what I think is the biggest story today. Now, I've seen obviously PlayStation, the Mark Cerny talk has just gotten more and more attention the more and more we see it. It's so funny how it started out as almost a miscalculation by PlayStation. Their first reveal of the PlayStation was this deep dive in architecture. So many people were disappointed. Hey, we didn't get to see any games. We didn't get to see the actual architecture. We didn't get to see what the opening screen looked like. But we saw a lot more than what was initially apparent as people started, like the Cherno started to actually dive into what it all meant. And then we started to see, hey, the PS5 architecture, Cerny wasn't just talking about how next gen architecture, meaning Series X and PC, is going to be different. He was specifically talking about the PS5. We're talking about that audio chip, and we're talking about that decompression chip that makes it so the SSD and all these bottlenecks don't have to happen. And people like Tim Sweeney think it's phenomenal. It's going to change the PC side, not the PC side influencing the PlayStation side or the console side. So that has begun to open up. The funny part is now that's beginning to infect what we see from Xbox Series X and some of the fan base there. So I noticed here that everyone's now pointing to, oh, they're trying to deep dive into the architecture of this Series X. We did see a little bit, there was a reveal as far as like the quick resume feature, but there wasn't too much of a deep dive. So we've been getting bits and pieces from different sources. So right here on the Reddit posted by a user, we have the Medium, a Microsoft Next Gen exclusive, features a unique and patented new feature never before seen in game thanks to the Xbox Series X innovative I/O tech. Remember, the I/O tech is what's being praised by Tim Sweeney and the like in the PlayStation 5 is completely unique and unmatched as to what they've seen. The Series X, we haven't really heard too much about it. They do have their own audio chip. They also have their own decompression chip with its own algorithm. Now, we haven't heard as much about it, and we're going to get to that later, but right here, the method of simultaneous playing in a single player video games is about the method that would allow players to simultaneously control one character with several avatars in different universes. The incident of each world will have dire consequences on one another, and the character in multiple worlds will be shown together at the same time in the same viewpoint. Sounds really interesting. So essentially you're in different worlds, but you're controlling the same person all at the same exact time. Sounds like a lot of content streaming at the same time there. Moving on again with Xbox Series X, 100 gigabytes of data instantly accessible. Here's what I think it means and what could have massive implications. So again, another user on Reddit, user Aquami, goes ahead and details what they think it is. I'm not going to get too into that since I don't know their background and I have not been able to verify too much of this, but I thought was important down below, one of the users says Microsoft will be at Hot Chips in August, and that's when they'll discuss the architecture with a Cerny level deep dive. So there's going to be a ton more to come from that. It's interesting how Cerny's deep dive ended up being way more important than I think most people thought it would be. And I'm curious to think what's, again, the main difference. We are seeing some similarities, but people are praising PlayStation 5 architecture. They're not saying bad things about Series X by any means, but we just haven't heard the same amount of praise, or I haven't seen the same amount of level of praise yet for the architecture. Going in from that, so directly comparing the two. This guy, Bill Stillwell, we're gonna jump into who he is. So who is Bill Stillwell? Bill Stillwell, he was formerly on the xCloud project, joining the Microsoft HoloLens division. So it looks like he works for Microsoft, or formerly did. This is in March of 2020, so pretty darn recent. He seems to know what he's talking about. He's a developer. He's worked in the Microsoft ecosystem for a very long time. That's from Lords of Gaming .net there. Interviewed by Lords of Gaming. So let's hear what he has to say here.
Developers to take advantage of something and work the way around it, but that works on both sides. And so the ability of a game developer to look and say, okay, I'm building this game and I want to have seamless transitions with no loading screens on PlayStation, but I'm also going to want to sell it on Xbox. Right. What am I going to do to manage that kind of thing? Like, that will be the tricks and the techniques. And so maybe, I'm just making this up, but maybe there are elevators in the Xbox version and not on the Sony version, right? I don't know yet how they're going to address it, but they will learn to address it. Right. And they will figure out ways to work around it. And that's where you'll get this dichotomy of the statements of absolute versus what we can actually do when the games are released and out. To make game developers to take advantage.
All right, so he's speculating that the advancements that some devs are able to achieve on the PlayStation 5, they're going to have to change that on the Xbox Series X. So this goes with, people are speculating, oh, the Xbox Series S SSD, they eliminated bottlenecks. There hasn't been any talk of that yet from the Microsoft side. From what he's saying, and he seems to be knowledgeable, that's not necessarily true. They haven't done it maybe as well as the PlayStation 5 has, and the architecture isn't as unique or mind-blowing as the PlayStation 5 has made it. So he seems to think that, an Xbox Series X version of a game won't be able to take full advantage like the PlayStation 5 could, and developers might have to put some stairways or something for you to sneak through while it's loading in a little bit of stuff in the background. Now again, these consoles, no matter what, both of them are going to load in data so quickly. It's going to be interesting to see. Again, that Sony deep dive this Thursday cannot come quick enough as far as like us to see gameplay and actual footage. All this is just speculation right now. He seems to be in the know, and from developers that seem to be in the know, they seem to be like, wow, Sony stuff is super special. So it'll be interesting to see which one ends up being quicker, better. If you're interested in PlayStation 5, what at the event this Thursday is going to make you buy the console? If you're not already planning on buying it, what is going to make you go, yep, I need that thing? I mean, I'm already planning on buying it just because it's next generation. I'm super excited about that. I'm imagining there's going to be things like Silent Hill, that's super rumored, Dark Souls, I'm in, Gran Turismo. I'm not a huge into driving games or Gran Turismo, but I'll see what it looks like, see what it actually would play like. I would be interested in it. And I want to play a lot of these first-party games that I haven't touched on the PS5. I'm just going to wait because I've already, kind of skipped past them because I didn't have a PlayStation 4 for a while. The Series X, I'm going to play everything on PC. I'll just upgrade my PC and play all those games there. The Series X seems to be super powerful as well. So let me know what you think down below. Again, my name is Matty. This has been Chatty with Matty, your source for daily gaming news. Of course, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're super interested and excited for. Go ahead and try out the 51 board games on Nintendo Switch. It looks great. And don't forget about the eShop sale and Sony Days of Play. They both are ongoing. So lots of cool stuff coming in. Again, this has been Chatty with Matty Follow me on the 3 Teasing IG, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and Instagram. I will be coming at you on Twitch at some time in the future to be announced. Of course, I got a new camera. I have a whole bunch of updates coming to the Twitch channel that aren't ready quite yet, and I don't want to make a promise like I did last week that it's going to be this week. So I'm just going to wait, and I'll let you know as soon as that is ready to go. And I'll be streaming 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time when that is ready. And of course, I'm at Sodi Pop Media on all those platforms. Have a wonderful day. Remember,
Be yourself.
and eat a cookie. Bye.